Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how we can use this Texas Instrument TI-30X2S in computing the sample standard deviation. Alright, this model is probably one of the most popular TI models. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to use this same data set which I used to compute standard deviation in one of my previous videos. Okay, here the sample mean we found was 4.0 and the sample standard deviation was about 1.91, and we'll see how we can get the same result using this this calculator. Okay, before we begin, there are some key or important keys that I want to point out. We'll be using this first, this stat ST80 in blue. Okay, that's to enter the stat mode. We'll use that pretty shortly. And the data is important. Okay, and the stat var, that means stat variable. Okay, this is where we'll get into the mean and the standard deviation and so on. Okay, so let's begin. Right. First, let's get into the stat mode. Okay, and that is to use this. So we need to press the second, since that's a secondary function. Second and data. Okay, what it will ask you is, do you want to do one variable statistics or two variable statistics? For us, it is one variable. Later on, we will be using two variable. Okay, so right now, you'll see these 5 dotted bars underneath. That's what it's pointing to. So that's what you want, so just press enter. Okay, right, so what you should see is kind of small, but you still see at the bottom of the screen, it says STAT. Okay, that means you are in stat mode. You do need to see that. Okay. All right. So now we are ready to enter the data. Okay. To do so, you just press data. Okay. It'll ask you your first data x1. Remember, that's the notation that I use. x1 equal to 1. Just press 1. Okay. And then you do need to scroll down using your arrow key. Okay. Scroll down. And here it's asking for FRQ, that's a frequency. It's asking how many 1 do you have? Well, there's only 1. It will always default to 1. So just scroll down. X2 is 2. So press 2. Scroll down, frequency 1, so keep on scrolling down. X3 is 4. Okay. Now we do have two 4s here, but we are not going to utilize frequency function now. So just go down, frequency 1, 4 again. Go down. Okay. Fifth data is 5. Go down. Sixth data is 6. Go down. Frequency 1. Seventh and our last data is 6 again. Okay, and go down. Frequency 1. Now we don't have eighth data. Okay, so we can just skip that. Don't enter anything. Do not enter 0. Okay. Okay. Now what we need to do is we're done entering the data. We do now go into so-called stat variable and ask and tell it to compute the mean and standard deviation. First, it's very important that although we are not really computing this, that you verify that the mean is the same. Okay, so type punch in stat variable. Okay, and it'll give you a whole bunch of lists. First, it's very important that you verify your n is equal to 7. That we have 7 data points. Okay, so again we have a bar underneath n, so just showing you the result for n. And as you go across, we see x bar, that's the mean, and sx, that's the sample standard deviation. Okay, and in case when you do need so-called a population standard deviation, and that's this, right? So which we don't use that, so we are only going to use the first 3 here. Okay, so how do you get to this? Just use your cursor, arrow key, and press. Let's go to the right. The mean right now is pointing to the mean is 4. That's what we got. And then the SX, that's our standard deviation. Again, remember it's supposed to be about 1.91, or more exactly, let me move over. That was a rounded off figure. It's 1.9148. So that's what we get. Move over, and that's what it is, 1.91485 and so forth. Okay, which is supposed to be square root of 22 over 6. Okay, and if you remember a variance is the radicand of this, which is 22 over 6 or 11 over 3. So they don't really give you a variance here, but what we can do is, can we get variance from this? Yes, we can. All we have to do is square this number. So let's square it. Where's the square button? Right here. So what happens if we square it? So it shows you it's going to square the sample standard deviation. Press 3.666 repeating. Is that 22 over 6 or 11 over 3? You can verify that. Probably the easiest way is multiply this by the denominator 6 times 6 equals 22. Okay, that's what it's supposed to. Alright, that's it. So that's how you go ahead. We use so-called this Texas Instrument TI-30X2S to compute sample standard deviation. And as you see, we can also compute the sample mean as well. Okay.